I am having constant overheating issues. I think it's the thermostat. I hope it is. I hope it's not the water pump. So cooling the car down and have to spend like half an hour to cool it down, and decided to spend the time meanwhile to install swivel seat. That thing over there, got it on eBay. It's about 200 bucks plus shipping, like 40, 50, 60, whatever where you're located. So let's get to it. We are installing GMC Savana 2003, then swivel base for the driver's seat. I'm gonna guide you through, and if you do this to your own van or car, you probably will lose your warranty if you still have one. So do this at your own risk. First of all, you need to disconnect all the wiring that connects to the seat. It's quite a lot in most cases, especially if you have controls. In my case, I do not have the airbag connected, but everything else I do have. So I have only 2 plugs to disconnect. Next you need 15 mil or 16 mil or 5/8. Well, 15 mil is the best fit, but you can do it with 16 as well. And undo all 4 bolts holding the seat in place. Once you have the bolts out, the nuts, you take off the seat. In my case, it's raining outside. Not even surprised, happens every time. So I'm gonna do everything inside the car. As you can see, the seat is out, wires disconnected, and have to install the plate. So a little about this swivel base. You can buy swivel bases on usual place, discountrvseats.com or something, and there was another place, and they sell a little bit different swivel bases, which are connected right in the center, and they are offset inwards. So when you install it, it's going to be offset towards the steering wheel, and some people say it's not really comfortable driving. So this base is from an eBay user who started selling them recently, and he makes for Sprinter vans. My friends installed in the Sprinter. Well, I did that, and I decided to try out the seat base for Savana or Chevy Express. And as you can see, there's like a big hole in the middle. It's supposed to be the other way. It's actually a passenger seat base, because if you look, you can see that it's towards the inside, the hole, so it's pivots around it, and this thing will go wrong way, so it's actually upside down right now to fit the driver's seat. And I didn't say which seat I need when I ordered on eBay, because he says for driver and passenger, and we messaged back and forth, and like he didn't understand my questions, and it was like painful to communicate. So I just ordered it, and sure enough, he sent me the passenger base, but I just flipped it upside down, and it should work the same way. So now I just have to bolt it down to the original base and then install the seat back. The seller does include all the necessary bolts and nuts, so time to install them. The hardware that comes with the kit is a little hex bolt, so you will have to use a hex thingy. I'll focus. And put it in here or here. So a few more tools you'll need, and 17mm or 11/16 socket to tighten down the nut on the bottom. Once the base is tightened down, you can install the seat and make sure all the wires go through the hole. Once the seat is in place, the bolts will drop through. Wow, so dark. And you just quickly attach the locking nuts here so the seat doesn't fall out. At least the one front corner, and then you can work on the others. Of course, I wasn't expecting everything to go smoothly, but I hoped the install would go better. Unfortunately, it does not. As you can see, I have an electronic seat, and it has these. Let me show you there. It has these slide rails for electronic adjustment, and it hits the swivel base. See that corner? So it hits it right there, and that means my left side will need some spacers to fit the seat, and we'll see how that goes. Here is more of the problem of the spacing issue. It's not just that slide, it's also these two tiny bolts that hit the swivel base. So these are the probably aftermarket seats, electronic seats. I don't know if they're aftermarket, but they're the, I believe, Explorer Outfitter brand, so they're much bigger and have all these electronic thingies. So we'll see. But I'm sitting quite high right now and a bit tilted to the right. So let's see if we can actually swivel the seat. So the seat is swiveled, as you can see, but not quite the fun way. First of all, since it's probably passenger base, ace funny, then the lever to release the swivel stays in the front. As you can see, there's the lever. So if you're facing back, the swivel back is going to be a bit troublesome. Well, another issue is here. The bolt from the seat hits the bottom of the swivel base, so we need spacers there as well. Not a huge spacer, but every little bit counts, and it will end up pretty high, but let's do it. So I added a couple spacers and it swivels more. Now I have a problem with this seat belt plastic thingy, which, as you can see, is scraping off, but I don't care. I don't think that's even original, but who knows. Anyways, it's just a plastic, no big deal. And let's see how's the seat. Again, to fully turn it back, I will need to grab the swivel handle, which is still there on the front. It's kind of awkward. Yeah. So it's swiveled back nicely, and it's okay position. You can have this squeeze between the seat and the door, but my phone got discharged and I didn't record that. Anyways, swiveling it back, this thing broke off, obviously. So I'll try to figure out what I can do with it, or just get rid of it completely, because it kind of looks nice, you know, but not nice anymore. I cut about this much off. So the Sharpie, not impossible. It's hard, but not impossible. So that's gonna go back, and it will not hit this base. So as you can see, after cutting the plastic, clears it nicely. So the seat can be swiveled, and there we go, fully swiveled. And controls we have here. Back. And my backrest is disconnected. I have to reconnect that, but kind of works. But again, I have to work on this side and figure out how to put a spacer in. Again, this is an issue for these Explorer seats, which are not factory, so they have that slider, and apparently they never did a swivel or something. So I'll have to figure that out. If you have factory seats, you shouldn't have this problem, and you probably don't have these, or they are sitting a bit higher. So in a normal factory van, these swivel seats would work nicely, but for me it's just a little bit more extra work, and it's gonna sit higher due to that spacing issue. And I will have that stupid swivel lever in the front, which means it's gonna be a little bit awkward to turn it back in the position, which means I'm gonna use it less because it's gonna just take too much effort. But that's it. The seat is somewhat installed, and I will deal with the spacer issue later. Okay. So time to deal with the spacing issue. Turns out on the both sides we have these two bolts, and then those two bolts that hit here on the rails. So I drilled this hole and drilling that one and that one, and then it should sit nicer. 4 holes are drilled. They're not super straight, but hopefully that will be good. We'll see. Might have to enlarge them. Well, as expected, the holes were not super perfect, so I had to enlarge this one. Hopefully it will fit now. So now, as you can see, the bolts weren't in, but we still have this plate, and if you look at it, it's not really doing anything but so here you can see the plate. I connected the wiring. Let's see if it does what I think it does. So it actually does absolutely nothing. So what it does is kind of acts like a rail for sliding back and forth, but it really does absolutely nothing. So I think I'm gonna remove that, and I could just skip the drilling altogether. So this is some kind of sensor that, I don't know if it reacts or doesn't react to this plate sliding through, and we will remove that. However, we still have to put the bolts back in, because it's what holds it's what slides the chair back and forth. Not good enough fit. So bit larger forward. So after a bunch of filing, I got somewhat done. I changed these black bolts to these because otherwise I need a huge spacer here, and you can still kind of see them there. They're like halfway in. I think they will go in with time, but the ends of the swivel base are tightened down. Now that I have the plate right, well, almost, there's like a millimeter. We run into the old problem where stock bolts hit the swivel plate while they're turning. So, two solutions: cut down the bolt, but it's Sunday and I don't want to have a loud grinder here. And the other solution is just use spacers here. So that's what I'm gonna do for now. Spacers installed. Now this clears, and let's see this. It clears it, but it's scratching it. Well, I'm gonna have to live with it. And the swivel is complete. Probably will have to remove all these things from the back of the seat, but for now I will let it stay as is and see if it's usable. And in the future I will swap this plate over to passenger seat. For now there's AC, fridge and microwave. That's it. Hope this was helpful to someone, and see you next time. Click like, it's free.